Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. Ed Talks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. A topic for the discussion is how to approach students dealing with anxiety and to express their viewpoints on the same. We have with us Miss Suman Sood ma'am, Director of BD Memorial, Advisor of BDM International and Indus Valley School, and member of ECA National Core Committee. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. Good afternoon to everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you here.
My honor.
So, ma'am, without wasting any time, let's start off with the session, shall we?
Yes, definitely.
So, ma'am, when we talk about anxiety, it's a thing, it comes with how do you, find out, how do you recognize students with anxiety in your classrooms? And what are some tips for the educators or, for students so they can learn better about this, the anxious, their classmates, students, or whatsoever, ma'am?
Yeah, there are various red flags that a teacher can notice when there are students with anxiety in a classroom. First of all, mainly those students, they will be within themselves. They will not reach out to anyone else. And they will also be sometimes very fidgety, or they'll be restless. They'll be wanting to get up and go outside, or some signs will be there which will make the teacher understand that the children are not at ease. They will not be very forthcoming in their talks with others. They will not mix very readily with others. uh, Actually, different children with different anxieties, they show different kinds of signs, but there are some common signs from which teachers can make out. And the most important is that academic performance will not be up to the level. So when this happens, and especially with children who have already been doing well, and suddenly if you notice that there is a downward curve in their performance, so that is when the teacher should try and understand that there is something amiss, and she should try to notice and try to find out what is the trouble or what is troubling the child.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, moving forward, when we, find out that this particular student is anxious, is has anxiety issues, so how can, as an educator or as a, classmate or, tuition mate, how can we help those anxious students?
So, after recognizing the signs, after the red flags, it is very important for us to deal with that anxiety. And how do we deal with that anxiety as educators, as teachers, and or even as friends, or what you said, as a person who takes a tuition, as a tuition master? It is extremely important for us to give the support and to help those children. So, first of all, there are various kind of strategies that one can adopt. Simple things like just take a break. Like if you're in a class, allow the child to take the break. Let the child go out, or send the child out with another classmate. No, so that the child can go out and see the once when you are connected with nature and you see the sky. Even when we are sitting in the classroom and looking outside the window and we look up at the sky, sometimes it is so soothing. We see that blue color with the white clouds, so it gives us a sense of peace and calm. So these children, if you, any one of us, when we are anxious and we are in the lap of nature, we get connected to nature, we hear the sounds of the chirping of the birds. So that gives us that sense of peace. Let them take deep breaths. The deep breathing technique should be followed, and it should be followed in the classroom on a regular basis. We can start the class with taking deep breaths, and if the child, and especially for children who have this kind of anxiety, it really helps to calm them. Let them do some exercise. A teacher can just take the child out for a walk, and when we are walking and talking, the endorphins, the positive endorphins, they get released into the body, which help us to be positive, and they cut off all the negative thoughts. And then also this help them to maintain a gratitude journal. thankfulness is important. Counting your blessings is important. Help them to understand there is so much of misery and anxiety in the world, and you are in a better place. You are blessed with so many good things in your life. So help children to become thankful of what they have. And of course, healthy mind in a healthy body. If the body is healthy, your mind will definitely be healthy. So let them help them to sleep well, give them the tips, and give them the tips of health, good food. And also, there are pictures and storybooks which teachers can share with children. They can share with parents, and all, and we can rope in the parents also, because always it is not what we are doing in school is fine, but then what they are facing in the house, that also needs to be known. So it's important to find out from parents that we need to work together in collaboration to find out what is troubling the child, so that we can help the anxiety to be solved. So I think with these few things, at least when we get started, we can conquer a lot of situations or challenges which come our way.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much for, such a wonderful answer. So when we talk about anxiety and, anyone who's dealing with anxiety, so it is said that, words do really play a very important role. So what do you say, to a student who has anxiety? As a student, we are not aware of, anxiety. So what should you say to a student?
Yeah. So, telling the student the right thing, of course, is very important. And also, it is very important to first give them the physical comfort. A small thing, just as a hug. They say the healing hugs are there. So, just before we start talking to the child, we can first give them that physical assurance, and then try to use all the five senses: seeing, touch, speaking. So all those five senses can be used to bring that assurance to the child. And most important thing is then when the child talks about the fears, when a child is telling us about the fears. So if we try and put down the child by saying, "Oh, what you are fear, what you are thinking about is just rubbish," or "Don't worry about it," or just forget about it. So we're not actually helping the child, because by telling them that don't worry about it or don't think about it, the child that is not convinced. So we have to understand the fears of the child, help them to, and the teacher must realize that these fears are realistic fears. If we just tell them, "Oh, what you are thinking is just rubbish, and this is not real, this is just your imagination." So we are feeding that imagination by saying that. So accept that and help the child to accept that. And we have to try to manage the fear, not to help him to totally get rid of the fear. Slowly and gradually, when we bring in and we talk to them and we, walk, we are with them and give them our trust that okay, whatever happens, we are there for you. As adults, we are there for you. We'll help you overcome. So, small thing like if a child is say scared of a dog, and the child, and the next time the parent or the teacher knows that the child is very scared of a dog, and we are already prepared that okay, when the dog is coming in, so let us warn the child before, and the dog is there, the dog is there, the child will be always scared of the dog. He will not be try to overcome that. So that anticipatory fears also we should help them to manage and overcome with that, and tell them that what you're feeling, we can understand, maybe it is real, but we need to give them the trust that we are with you and we will help you overcome that. So managing fears is more important than just shooing them away. We can't shoo them away overnight. Over a period of time, we can help them to come down with it, and to maybe the fears may become zero at one point of time. So I think that is what we should tell the children.
Well, absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much for, sharing your viewpoints on this. So when we talk about, anxiety, especially in examination, whether a student has anxiety issues or not, but it is, very anxious environment at that time, everybody is so anxious. So how can, teachers support the student during the examinations to cope up with that anxiety?
So during and before the examination, the duty of the teachers is first to see that the children are comfortable with all the details. So what happens is many times last minute, if there is a change of place or location or some kind of a format is changed, so obviously that adds to the anxiety. So all these things and details should be sorted out much earlier, and children should be prepared, and they should also be prepared for the writing format. The teachers should help the children with that this is the format that is going to be there, so this is what is expected out of you. They should give them tips like, carry what they should give them tips about whatever is needed to be writing the exam, so they should be prepared with that. They should carry those things. They should wear comfortable clothing. They should be also keeping sense of timing, proper timing. So all these little pre-planned things that children should be prepared with. And then most important is to prepare their attitude. Teachers should help them to understand that exams are not the be all and end all of things. So whatever happens, even if you are well prepared, you are doing your best. But supposing by some situation, during some situation, whatever the cause is, but you don't get the expected marks, or you don't fare as well as you have expected. So this is not what is the ultimate goal. So the marks and everything else concerned with it is not ultimate goal. So here parents should also help children to understand that you have done your duty, you have prepared well. Now be confident, and the attitude that they should maintain is that as much as possible we relax, and also give them the techniques of that deep breathing, meditation, and memorizing techniques. All these, if the children are prepared with that, and I don't see any reason why they should be scared of exams. And only the scare is that we are worried what is going to happen with the result. So we worry about that. So if parents also help children to understand that results don't matter, your effort matters. So I'm sure we can help children to overcome this anxiety. Some tips which are there should always be shared with the children.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing so many tips with, the students watching this out. So, this was, anxiety that we talked about. So, when we talk about, mental health issues among students, so there are a lot of other mental health issues like food, eating disorders, and depression and anxiety is one of them. So, how can, teachers in general can help the students out dealing with those mental health issues?
Yeah. Again, the first thing is that teachers should notice what is amiss, what is troubling the children, what kind of disorder a child has. And there are a lot of symptoms. Some children, they have eating disorders, some children, they have disorders when it comes to attention, that attention deficient disorder is there. So all these issues should first be understood by the teachers, and they should recognize the symptoms and try to talk to the children, and then thus create situations in the classroom which can help these children. Like situations like they can be made to sit next to the door, and they can be children should have that reassurance that okay, whenever I'm upset, or if I want to just take a walk, I'm allowed to go out and take a walk. So in private, the teachers should tell the children that see, if you ever feel like that, just excuse yourself and go out and take a walk and come back. And they should be allowed to have like drinking water in the class. They should be allowed to keep all the beverages if they need the certain kind of calming beverages. So, like some juice, or some kind of an energy drink, or some kind of a soothing drink. So all that should be allowed for them. And also they should be, teachers should help them to set their goals, and to help them to do some problem solving, their techniques. They should teach them those. So a lot of hand holding is required. And also they can be some other children can be motivated to become their volunteer assistants. So if a child is not able to pay much attention in the class and he is not able to write the notes, they can be allowed a tape recorder in the class, or they can be allowed to record their lessons, and then they can go home and they can make the notes, or they can also take photocopies of other children's notes, or other children can be made to help them to write the notes. So they can be given extra time, and these kind of the assessment system can be changed, evaluation system can be changed for them, customized for them. Supposing children are not able to write, so let them give an oral exam. So there is a lot of things that we can do to help them, and not necessary that we have to make them, be in that perfect format. So whatever way we can, we should try to help them and overcome these disorders. And of course, if it is something which is to an extent which cannot be handled in the class, then parents must be consulted, and special counselors, they should be brought in, and we need to do whatever is necessary to help the children.
Thank you so much, Suman ma'am, for being here today and sharing so
Sure.
valuable viewpoints with us. I hope the students and the educators watching us out got to learn a lot about how to deal with the students dealing with anxiety.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you and to talk about this topic, which is a really need of the hour. So, thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you again, ma'am. And for all the viewers watching us out, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye bye.